Hello and welcome to this painting tutorial with me, Xenovids. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I paint my Tyranids, the colour scheme, and take you through a step-by-step guide of exactly what I do. So, let's take a look at the models. So here is some of the models that I have for my army. We'll take a look at them in close-up. Now I go with an Ice World themed Tyranids army. My favourite one that Games Workshop have produced is High Fleet Behemoth, which is the red exoskeleton and the blue and black blends on the carapace. Now I've chosen to go with a slightly different theme, using blues and lots of blending techniques of different colours. I've created what I think would be a good Ice World Tyranid colour scheme. The techniques I use are simple and easy to replicate. Now I prime the miniatures. I then use wet blends, feathering or dry brushing, and we're going to be going through each of these through this tutorial. Now what I'm going to be painting today is a Carnifex I recently got on eBay. So here is the model I got off eBay. This is the colour scheme I was talking about earlier that I really like, with the red and the blends of blacks and blues. It's not bad painted, but it just doesn't fit my colour scheme. And they've based it in grass, and I like to do it in snow. So let's go through step by step how I paint my Tyranids. First things first is I like to have somewhere I can do my painting on. Generally I find that some of the best light is in my kitchen, but as you can see, wooden table. Now I don't want to get any paint or glue on this table because other people in this house will not be very happy, and I'm sure you have similar problems like that. I don't have a desk, so I have to do it at this table, so I have one of these cut mats. As you can see, I've done a lot of painting and bits and bobs on it. What also I need to do is get myself a palette. Now I'm using what I use for watercolour palette, and as you can see I've been doing a lot of blues dry brushing, and I use this for when I do dry brushing or want to do wet blends, and I keep them in their little areas. Next is a pot of clean water, and also you're going to need your box of various paints and brush sizes for the project at hand. So let's take a look at the Carnifex a little more closely. Carnifex has come fully painted and assembled. I don't want to be removing arms or anything to get to places, but with it on the base, that's going to be a problem, and I'm going to have to do the base separately anyway, so I've removed the Carnifex from the base. All I'm going to do with the base is glue on some stones and rocks that I've got for my scenery stuff, paint the edges in black, and come back to that at a later stage. Now the Carnifex itself, what I'm going to have to do is prime it white. I may need a few layers of white on here, but the shell itself isn't too bad because that's just going to have a strong blue on it. So let's take a look at the paints that I'll need for this task. The paints that I like to use, I use the Games Workshop Citadel range, and I've got the Ceramite White, Macragge Blue, Drakenhole Nightshade, Calador Sky, Ice Blue, and Caraba Crimson. So a few technical, a few base, and a couple of shades. Now I don't think they make ice blue anymore, but they will have an equivalent or if you just type in Games Workshop paint conversion chart on any search engine. The brushes I'll be using will be a dry brush, a wash brush, and some brushes which have a little bit of detail and that I'm not too fussed about if I have to do minor dry brushing with these. And that's all I need to do my colour scheme. I'm going to be going through now the tutorial of what paints to use in different areas of the model. I'm going to show you on a smaller piece which is easy to see and covers all the techniques that I'll be using for the whole model. I'll do that in detail, and then I will also record me painting the whole model up, but I might speed that one up to save time, because I'm a bit of a slow painter and I don't want a 4-hour long video for just the one model. So let's take a look at the model and start going. So far is taking all the exoskeleton that's been red and I've painted over it with ceramite white. When you get your sprue though, brand new, this is what you'll get after you spray it white. I use Games Workshop white, however I do find that it can be either powdery or just not as effective as other primers. So if you're used to a different white primer, you can use that and it'll do exactly the same thing. Also with the primer, if you find that it's just not as strong as what you get out of the pot, you can always go over in ceramite white with a bit of water and go over to clean up that white. So now let's go over the process of adding the blue effect. So here is the model. It is nice and primed. And what I'm going to do is, on this area, to show you how I do it, is work with the Macragge blue. So I really get that on there. Nice. You could be thick or thin. You can mix it with a bit of water to thin it down a little bit, but this stage I don't really mind what kind of consistency it is. It is just the base colour, and we'll be going over this with a shade anyway in a few moments. It's important to try and not get any of the white, because it's very annoying to go back over the white that you've already done. But mistakes happen. Now I'm using the wash brush from Games Workshop to do this. This section, but when I do more detailed sections, like hard to reach places, such as on his carapace down here, I'll be using a thinner brush for that. So again, try not to get any of the white, or not too much on the brush. Okay, and I've done that as well. I've included the horny bit here of the talon, the thumbnail hazard. On these bits here, you can decide whether you want to have them blue or whether you want to have them white. I am going to do the blue bits. because they do look like part of it's protruding from the actual exoskeleton. So to keep the consistency the same, I'm going to be doing them blue as well. So now I'm going to do the Carnifex itself. I'm going to leave the camera running, and I'll see you in the next section then. There we go, all the blue done. Now, I like to have a little bit darker. So what I do, I get a bit of Drakenhof Nightshade. Give it a little shake. And then just put that onto the blue, just to darken it a little bit. Now I'm going to do it on the Carnifex. I will be back in a moment when I've done all this. Okie dokie, so the wash is now dried and everything has got a little bit darker. As you can see. So what I'm going to do now is a bit of dry brushing. What you could do now is do a bit of wet blending on the carapace bits here. On those sections there, what you could do is get a bit of the macrag with the Calidor Sky and just kind of blend it in to make highlights along the edges, and then with the final sky blue you could feather little flicks on each of the carapace. What I'm going to do to make it nice and simple and easy to follow is I'm just going to follow a dry brushing technique. So I'm going to shake up my Calidor Sky. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's absolutely chucking it down here in Britain, Cambridgeshire. Right. All you do dry brush a little bit so you've got a bit on the brush. Not a lot. And you just dry brush it in. What I like to do is start at the ends of where the points are. That's where the most brightest part of it will be, and then just draw it up. Not sure how much of a difference you can actually see. A bit of a difference. So just lightening it up. So I'm going to continue on to the claw. Rawr. So what I'm going to do now is work on the actual model and continue on. Okay, after doing the dry brushing with the Calidor Sky, I'm going to move on to dry brushing with the Ice Blue. Again, starting from the end point. I've got a bit of blue on the white, but I can just easily go over that in a moment. Now if you find the blues aren't really blending as much as you'd hoped, you can always do another shade of the blue. Drakenhof Nightshade. That's really simple. Simple. I'm going to be a little bit more delicate with my actual card effects, and I'll show you the result in a moment. Okay, so I have dry brushed with the Ice Blue. I'll take a look now at the model. Simple dry brushing on the model. Now here you could blend or feather, but again I'm just simply dry brushing to look okay on the tabletop. It highlights the carapace when you dry brush, and it's quick and simple. So what I'm going to do now is get rid of all these little bits of blue on the white with the ceramite white and tidy it up a little bit before I wash it. Okay, so I have now cleaned up all the bits that were blue, making him ready for the washes. So the first wash I'm going to do is the pink for the tongue. Now I'm going to use a red shade, Carroburg Crimson. This is a red, but when you put a kind of a red on a white, you get pink. So the last thing to do, I'll just grab it, is to get Agrac's Earth Shade. This is what will tie it in together. So, grab my Scything Talon. I've got a lot of Agrac's Earth Shade on the brush. Just working it into the recesses. Anywhere you see white, really, you just push it towards. And then that is it really. So I'm going to carry on with the Carnifex. And finish him up. Okay, so that's all done. And what I'm going to do now is just let him dry. Okay, so here is the Carnifex now, looking very much different with the dry brushing technique. Now you can, in these folds, do a blue wash to darken it and highlight it more, but I'm just going to leave it like this for now. So a really quick and simple way of doing the model. And as you can see, the wash makes it look a million times better than just having skull white. So thank you very much for watching. I will do a video in the next few days, try and get a video up of how I make snow bases and how to make it different consistencies. But thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment and share, and I will see you on the next video.